Hello everyone. This is my second video about SPSS basic operation. So last time I talked about data encoding, how to encode data into SPSS. I talk about data view and then variable view. So for this video, I'll be talking about how are you going to determine the case summaries through SPSS, the descriptive statistics through SPSS, and then the cross tabulation using SPSS. So again, there are three parts of this video, all about case summaries through SPSS, then the descriptive statistics through SPSS, and then the cross tabulations through SPSS. So if we go back to just hold for a moment, I'm going to transfer this one on top. So if you remember, we look into variable view and data view in my first video about SPSS basic operation. And then if you look back into these different icons, you can actually, hold on one moment. You can find in the analyze icon, top portion, you can find the analyze portion. Then you can go into reports. Just hold on for a moment, reports. Under reports, you can have different parts and you can find case summaries. So under reports, you go to case summaries, then click on case summaries. So when you click on case summaries, you can find this dialog box. So you have the variable box. So we have sex, civil status, civstat, and then what you have encoded is up to age. Okay, up to age, but the weight in kilograms recorded per rata are not actually being included. No? Just verify on the data that you have actually encoded. So you can look up into sex. You can individually transfer this one to the variable box like this. And then if you want to transfer this box again to remove that one from the variable box, highlight that one, then click on the arrow going to the original box. So in my case, I normally highlight everything that I want to have the case summaries. This one. So I have here sex, civil status, up to performance rating. Then I'm going to have that one into the variable box. So all are transferred. And then there's a statistics part in the dialog box. So in here, we don't we're not going to make use any of this because we want only the number of cases. No? So the statistics would not be included. We just want on the number of cases or the case summaries. And then we have here limit cases to first 100 because if the data is composed of 1,000, for example, then you will have a total of 1,000. You could not actually find an easy way of looking at the 1,000 data. So you can have that one by batch, by 100. However, that would be depending on your choice. Since in this case, we only have 100, so we can have the limit cases to the first 100. Click on OK. So there you are. You will have this output. Hold on for a moment. I'm going to transfer this one. I'm going to enlarge the output. Okay, so this is the output. So the first one is we have here summarize. Summarize. Actually, that's the summary. We have the case summary. So what you can see in the case summary, we have sex, all the variables. Now we have sex, the status, position in the school, status of position up to performance rating. So we have here N 100, so all are 100. The percent is 100. And that's under the included column. So meaning all are included in the encoding. So none are missing. Excluded the 0, and then the total is 100%. So this one thing that you are going to consider when in the included column, all are 100%, and then 0 in the excluded. That means all the data are actually being encoded. None is actually missing. And this is actually part of the data cleaning. If in case this is not equal to 100%, less than 100%, then you have to go back to the data, review all the data, because maybe some are actually missing. No, when you encode the data, some are missing. Some of the cells are actually missing. But if that is 100% for included, 0% for excluded, then that means there's no problem with the data encoding. All data are encoded. And then we have the case summaries. So the case summaries actually let you see all the data that you have collected from the respondents, the one that you have encoded in the SPSS software. So there are 100 respondents. So we have 1 up to 100. And if you look at the last column, total is 100, 100, 100, 100, because our total data encoded is 100. And you can find the data in general. For example, our variable sex, civil status, position in the school or company, status of position, location of residence, location of workplace, height in feet, then weight in kilograms. And then we have age. We have then performance rating. So if you're going to look at, this can be enlarged. So if you're going to look at all the data in here, for example, respondent number 1. So respondent number 1 is female, the civil status is single, the position in school is MT2, the status of position is permanent, location of residence is urban, location of workplace is urban, height in feet is 5.3, weight in kilograms is 55, then age is 38, then performance rating is very good. So those are the data coming from respondent number 1. Then respondent number 2, female, married, teacher 3, permanent, rural, then rural for location of workplace, height is 5.4 feet, weight in kilograms 50, the age is 41, the performance rating is very good. And that is actually up to number 100 or respondent number 100. So respondent number 100 is female, married, teacher 1, permanent, urban, then urban in terms of the location of workplace. Height in feet is 5, weight in kilograms is 48, performance rating is very good. So all of these would reflect the summary of all the data that you have collected. So if you have a total of 1,000, so you will have also 1,000 data that can be found in the case summaries. So the case summary will give you a total picture of the data that you have actually collected. Okay, so we can actually, I can exit that one and then I can click on save. I can save that one. So save that one. So I'm going to say their output number 1 for December 17, 2022. Output number 1. Just want to label that one as SPSS. Output number 1, December 17, 2022. And I'm going to place that one under documents. No, under desktop. So I'm going to have that one in my desktop because I like that will be saved in my desktop. However, if you save it on the documents or the downloads, then it would depend on you. So click on save. Okay, so I go back now to the original data. So the next one is all about the descriptive statistics. So I think you have run measures of central tendency, measures of central location under graphs using Megastat. So for now, we make use into SPSS. So we have this icon. We have analyze. So when you click into analyze, you can find here analyze descriptive statistics. So under descriptive statistics, then click on descriptives. So we have descriptives, click this one. And then under descriptives, so what appears on this box are only those quantitative data. The qualitative data would not appear. So automatic the data in which we consider as quantitative or numeric in nature would actually appear in this box if we are going to click on descriptive statistics. So we can transfer all of this. So put the cursor there, then arrow down, and then transfer. So click this arrow going to the right. Or you can have that one individually. For example, you can click a position. The next is height. You want to place it here, but it is tedious, no? So much better that if you have the original one like this, then you can just highlight all, then transfer all of them once, and then click on OK. So there you are. We only have here what descriptive statistics. So we have two position and is 264. Minimum is what 0, and then maximum is 7. Then we have 4.9, 4.9, 5.7, and then 5.246, then 264, 46, 73, 7.078, then so forth and so on. Okay, so we have here the minimum, the maximum, the mean, and then the standard deviation. Okay, so we can label that one as our, can save that one. So I'm going to exit that one, and then I'm going to click on yes. Then output number 2. So we have SPSS output number 2. We have December 17, 2022. Then I'm going to have that in the desktop. Then save. Okay, so I go back now to the original data. Then I am going to go back again to descriptive statistics. So we have descriptive statistics, and then click again descriptives. So you notice that the variables are actually in there. No? For example, you want to reset, you can reset, meaning you go back to the original one, and then highlight all variables, transfer it one to the variable box. You notice there is option icon. You can click that one, and there are many things that you are going to consider. So we have mean, standard deviation, you can have the variance, you have the range. No? And then we have also kurtosis, we have the skewness, and then we have also the standard error of the mean. No? So all of these are actually what necessary in the measures of dispersion. So we have Mean for the central location, we have standard deviation, variance, range, standard error, maximum, minimum. We can have kurtosis and then skewness. By the way, the kurtosis or the skewness would refer to the flatness, kurtosis would be the flatness or the pickedness of the data. Skewness would refer to whether the data are skewed to the right or skewed to the left. Because normally when you graph the data, there are three possibilities. So in terms of skewness, the data are actually normal, which we call normal distribution, or bell-shaped distribution, or the symmetric distribution. That is the case when the mean, median, and mode are actually the same. However, if the mean is not equal to median and median is not equal to mode, then we call that one a skewed distribution. Skewed distribution. S-K-E-W-E-D, skewed distribution. And the skewed distribution is classified into two. We have skewed to the right and we have skewed to the left distribution. So you can determine that one in terms of skewness. The kurtosis would refer to the flatness of the graph or the pickedness of the graph. So there would be some cases that the graph is somewhat tall, and we call that one as part of the kurtosis. And we call it one as lymptocortic, Lymptokurtic, lymptocortic. However, upon graphing, the data is flat. It's actually flatter. We classify that one as platykurtic. The spelling Platykurtic, platykurtic. So for more details, I want you to read about kurtosis and then skewness as part of your independent study. Then click on continue. Then click on OK. So if you look at the output for the descriptive statistics, you have actually different values. We have now the statistic, the total 264. We have the range. We have minimum. We have maximum. We have mean. We have standard deviation. We have variance, skewness. We have also kurtosis. So if you look at in here, we have different measures of central location and then measures of central tendency. So if you look at the output of SPSS and the output of Megastat, the format are actually different. So I'm going to save this one. So I'm going to save that one, this output number 3. So we have SPSS output number 3, December 17, 2022. So I'm going to save that one in the desktop, then save. So I go back to the original data. Now, you might wonder, why is it that in our case summaries, if you remember, the total is only 100. No, I guess you can remember that the total is only 100. So let's go back to analyze. And then let's go back to the reports and then the case summaries. So I'm going to click again reports. And then I'm going to choose case summaries. And then after that, I'm going to reset, meaning all variables would go back to. Okay. And then I'm going to have a display cases. So if you notice, what is displayed there is only 100 because we set that one as 100. So I'm going to click that one, show valid cases, show case numbers, show only valid cases, and then I'm going to have the first 300, for example. So I can set first 300, meaning 264 as the total, but I'm going to have that on 300, the first 300. Anyway, our total data is only 264. So I'm going to click that one, transfer all of this to variable box. Then click on OK. Let's find out the result. Okay, so if you look at now, so if you look at the data, so we have now total 264. Okay, 264, so we have 264, we have 264. So in the first example about case summaries, I set that one to the first 100. So what is displayed is only the first 100. However, if you're going to set that one as the entire one, so we can have that one, the first 300, and then you have now a total of 264. Why 264? Because our total data is 264. Even if I set that one as the first 300, because the data is only up to 264. Okay, so we have this one. So I'm going to consider this one as output. So I'm going to save that one. So output number 4. So I'm going to SPSS. Output number 4, December 17, 2022. And then I'm going to save that one in the desktop. So we have save. Okay, so it's saved now. So again, let's try analyze. Then I go back to reports, then case summaries. So then I'm going to reset. I'll go back to the original setting. So we have the first 100. Suppose I'm going to change that one to 200. Let's find out what will appear. No? So I'm going to highlight all variables and then transfer this one here and then click on OK. So you notice that what appeared is only 200. No? So we have 200, and then under the case summary, so we have the first 200 because we set that one. We want to have all the summary of the first 200. So I'm going to click save. So I'm going to save that one. I'm going to sample 5. So SPSS output number 5, December 17, 2022. Then I'm going to click, I'm going to save it as a desktop, then save. So we have now go back to the original data. So that's what you are going to consider, no? Trial and error, and then you're going to play with the data. So under case summaries, you can have a summary only of the first 100, a summary of the first 200, or you can have the summary of the entire data, depending on how many data are you going to have in terms of the summary. So next, I'll go to descriptives, and we have here crosstabs. Okay, so we have crosstabs. So crosstabs is the shortcut of cross tabulation. So I'm going to have cross tabulation. So in terms of a cross tabulation, in most data presentation, we only have a univariate presentation, meaning in one table, there's only one variable presented. But in some cases, the presentation of the data are bivariate, meaning in one table, you can see two variables. So in terms of columns, one variable. In terms of rows, another variable. So you see two variables. In a univariate table, there's only one variable. And in terms of a bivariate, you see two variables. So you can have the row is a variable, the column is also a variable. And for me, as a statistician, I am actually into the bivariate presentation, not the univariate presentation. So for example, we want to look at into sex and civil status. So we can have this one, civil status 6 in terms of row, and then civil status in terms of what columns. Okay. Or you can have sex in terms of columns and the civil status in terms of rows, depending on your choice. So in my case, so sex is in the row, and then column is in terms of civil status. And then I'm going to click on OK. So that's it, the cross tabs or the cross tabulation. Of course, you start with case processing summary to find out that all are actually encoded. No, none is missing. So the total is 264, present 100, missing 0. That should be the case. Now, no missing or 0. So if you look at the table, so we have now male, and then female. So sex is in terms of rows. So we have male row and then the female row. And then we have civil status in terms of columns. So we have the single column, the married column, and then the widow column, and then the total column. So if you look at the table, you see that there are two variables presented in the table. So I like this because you can actually make a comparison between civil status and the sex of the respondents. So for example, looking at the data, you can see there are 33 males who are single. Then none is a male and married. Then no one is actually a male, then a widow. Then we have female, so we have single 121, married is 99, then female widow 11. Then we have a total 33 for males, then the female 231. And then overall 264. So how many are singles? 154. Broken down into 33 males and then 121 females. How many are married? 99. And all of these married are what? Females. So you see there's a breakdown of the data dissection between male sex variable and the civil status variable. So I'm going to label this one as, I'm going to label that one as another output. I'm going to save that one. So we have, okay, save. So this output number 6, no? So SPSS output number 6, December 17, 2022. And I'm going to save that one in the desktop. Okay, so again, let's go back to descriptives and we go back to crosstabs. So in here, the row is in terms of sex, the column is in terms of civil status, but we can actually interchange that one. So we have sex in the column, civil status is in terms of the rows. So let's find out what's the result. Click on OK. So here it is. This is the result. So we have now case summaries. Again, the valid one is 264 or 100%. Then there's no missing. It's 0. So that's the correct one. If missing is equal to 1 or 2, so you have to go back to the data because some are actually missing. So you have to check. You have to go over the data that you have encoded. So if you look at this presentation, so you know these male and then female are in columns. Then in terms of rows, we have single, married, and widow. But still the data are exactly the same. It's only on the presentation where is the column and where is what the row. So in this case, the column is in terms of sex and the row is in terms of civil status. So let's have this one as part of so let's save this one. So this is output number 7. So we have SPSS, output number 7, December 17, 2022. I'm going to save that one to desktop. Okay, so again, let's go to descriptives and still in terms of the cross tabulation. So we have cross tabs. Okay, so I'm going to reset everything. So you can have six. You can have that one simultaneously. So you can have six in the row. And then you can have position, civil status, all of this in terms of columns. So, okay. So the sex, all sex is actually being cross tabs to the different other variables. No? So sex with the different other variables. So let's look at that one in a simultaneous process. So there you are. So we have case processing. So all 264 for the valid case, and then none is missing. It is 0. So the first tabulation, so we see that this one as the result of my sample 6 and sample 7. So we have sex and civil status. So we have sex in the row and then civil status. In here, we have sex still in the row, and in the column is position in school. So we have not applicable, teacher 1, teacher 2, teacher 3, MT2, managerial position, and then total. So if you look at this, so we have there are 22 males in which the position is not applicable. There are 11 males who are teacher 1. None is teacher 2, who is a male. Then so with teacher 3, none for male. And then master teacher 2, none for male also. So with the managerial position. For females, 33 not applicable, 132 teacher 1, 22 teacher 2, 22 teacher 3, and 11 females who are master teacher 2, and 11 females who are in the managerial position. How many males? 33, and how many females? 231. The overall total or the grand total is 264. So in this table, you can find how many are not applicable. 55. How many are teacher 1? 143. How many are teacher 2? 22. How many are teacher 3? 22. How many are master teacher 2? 11. How many are having managerial position? 11 also. And of these 11, all are females, none is male. So that's actually part of a bivariate presentation of the table, which we call cross-tabulation. So the sex is cross-tabulated to all other variables. So up to sex and performance rating. So if you look at sex and performance rating, so we have male and then female. Then we have not applicable, good, very good, excellent, and then total. So there are 22 males nga not applicable in terms of performance, male, no one in the male male sex category who is having good performance rating. So with very good, none, but there are 11 males whose performance rating is excellent. In terms of the females, 33 having this status not applicable, 22 females having good performance rating, 165 having very good ratings who are females, and 11 females who have excellent performance. So there are 33 males, females 231, overall 264. And we have 22 having good performance, 165 having very good performance, 22 having excellent performance. So you see, it's very nice to look at cross-tabulation data than to see only in a table na you see only all the sex categories. You can see all the performance ratings. You can see all the age cross-tabulation. So the trend now is do cross-tabulation or the bivariate presentation, not the univariate presentation. So I'm going to save this one, and this output number 8. So we have SPSS output number 8, December. 17, 20, 20, 20, 22. 17, 20, 22. Okay, so again, I'll go back to analyze, then descriptives, and then cross-tabulation. So I'm going to reset so that all of those variables would go back to the original placement. So for your activity, I want you to have another one, civil status, and then tabulate, cross-tabulate that one with the variables below civil status. That's classwork number 1. No? Civil status in the row, and then in the columns, position, status, location of residence, location of workplace, so forth and so on, up to performance rating. So that's classwork number 1. For classwork number 2, so the position in the school will be in the row, and then those below the position like status of position, location of residence, location of workplace, height in feet, weight in kilograms, up to performance rating will be in the columns. That's classwork number 2. Classwork number 3. So you go into the location of residence in the row, and then the location of workplace, height in feet, weight in kilograms, age, and performance in the column. Then classwork number 4, you're going to have location of workplace in the row, and then height in feet, weight in kilograms, age, and performance rating in the columns. Then generate the cross-tabulation table. Then classwork number 5, you go into height as part of the row, and then weight in kilograms, age, and performance rating in the columns. That's classwork number 5. Classwork number 6, weight in kilograms in the row, and then age and performance in the columns. And then classwork number 7, the last one, age in the row, and then performance rating in the column section. So doing all of those, you're able to have all possible cross-tabulation. So you have a total of 7 classworks. Classwork number 1, classwork number 2, classwork number 3, classwork number 4, classwork number 5, classwork number 6, and classwork number 7. And all of those classworks must be uploaded into the respective classwork that I am actually uploading into our Google Classroom. And then all of those that I have as SPSS output number 1 up to SPSS output number 8. So you're going to upload the screenshots in the Google Stream of our Google Classroom within the class period. So again, those SPSS output number 1 up to SPSS output number 8, no? The one that I discussed in this video. Take a screenshot of those, and then you're going to upload that one in the stream of our Google Classroom. So the label would be SPSS output number 1, December 17, 2022. The next upload, you're going to have December SPSS output number 2, then December 17, 2022. So you will have a total of 8 uploads. So with the label as SPSS output number 1, December 17, 2022, then so forth and so on up to SPSS output number 8, December 17, 2022. So a total of 8 uploads in the Google Stream. And then you have there in the classwork, you have there 7 different classworks that your screenshots will be uploaded. So take note of that. And then to be sure that you're the one doing that one, you are going to have also 8 screenshots for the outputs. So now you are doing the process. In those screenshots, I can see your faces. And then you're going to upload that one into the stream of our Google Classroom. And that is actually in the stream. No? And you are going to label that one as evidence number 1, evidence number 2, then evidence number 3, up to evidence number 8. Why we have 8 evidences? Because we have 8 outputs, no, in this video that you are going to follow, no, when you are going to open your own file of your SPSS in your own gadget. And then another set of evidence, seven evidences in terms of screenshots while you are doing the classwork 1 up to classwork 7. Take a screenshot. I can see your face na you are the one doing it. Without the evidence, I will not give credit to your screenshots in the Google stream, and I will not give credit also to the classwork that you have uploaded. I want to see an evidence. Again, the evidences of output 1 to output number 8 must be uploaded into the stream of our Google Classroom. And then the evidences of classwork number 1 up to classwork number 7 must be uploaded also into the stream of our Google Classroom. No evidence, no credit of your classwork 1 up to classwork number 7. And so with other requirements. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. And again, we have this data, this the data view, and we have the variable view. These are actually the outputs that we have last Saturday. So thank you for watching.